don't consistently win them against really any team. So in the mid round, they have to actively be working for picks, spotting out isolated defenders to get that advantage when they execute. And RTV did a beautiful job of exactly that when playing on border against SSG. Their attacks were fantastic most of the time. So if they're not able to replicate that, SSG really could take the bag and run with it here, theoretically speaking. And especially since they now have game day experience playing against RTV on this map, it might be a little more challenging to work those picks I just mentioned in the mid-round that are kind of a win condition for RTV.
Yeah, going back to this map, sure, it's a really good reality TV map, but I mean, SSG is a team that is adaptable, a team that is counter-strat based, and a team that really does their homework. So I hope RTV have something different to show us today. The band's coming through, Lion and Azami for SSG. The Lion band makes sense. Reality TV do heavily lean into that operator, especially with how aggressively they sometimes play on that attack, allowing that defense or forcing that defense to stand still can be quite the boon. And Ying and Valkyrie following standard bans on border all around. Armory Lockers is going to be our first site that SSG are opting to go for. Solus in play, incredibly powerful operator on border. And with Lion being banned, Dokkaebi is left up, and RTV are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I could imagine we see a lot of Dokkaebi on both the side of SSG and Reality TV. I mentioned that earlier. It seemed a bit questionable because RTV having had, or even now Rice, funny enough, on the Dokkaebi is pretty common for them. But also Yeti, who was pretty vocal and at a pretty focal point for SSG as a whole in the last half, he was not allowed that option, but maybe later on he'll get to go back to her when you see us after round number 6. Seems like for SSG they want to start over in Armory, having the help of this castle and a room combination for these extensions. So now RTV have to have a lot more ranged explosivity, which is probably why Tristan's now re-picking off of the Iana onto an Ashe, but now Giddy will go onto that operator instead. So just kidding, that might be a little bit less fortunate for RTV, but I guess they don't need burn because there are no ADS or magnets. It is just those Surya gates that have to worry about. So I guess they wouldn't need the, concussive lifelines.
Yeah, SSG both on bank and now in the first round of border, not really leaning into the Jaeger or the Wamai at all. Happy to just play around the shield with no protection. Tristan already using one of those breaching rounds to open the castle barricade on the passport double door. Maybe looking to apply some pressure downstairs in the main lobby. Hat starting to open up the main castle barricade on top east, staring down a shield. There's, of course, a player on the catwalk, too. So SSG with a very, I wouldn't say classic style of defense on border, but a style of defense that we've seen a lot on the new reworked border.
Yeah, just having someone play over by catwalk, breaking a lot of drones, and be looking for an opening gunfight. And you've got these longer angles you can try to challenge as well. Rampy doing exactly that. He wins the first engagement for SSG. And RTV looking for this office overtake with a bit of pressure built up over by break room. It's still not going according to plan. And I'm not too sure if Hack could even get the triple wall opened up over by offices. So really, there are limited options already for RTV. They only have one grenade left, no other ranged explosivity but that. But at least Mr. B finds a refrag as he now enters in the top east.
Searching for this Solus. Hot and Cold still playing in break room, dealing a lot of damage to Giddy now with both the impact and his P90. Mr. B scared to push through, worried that there might be some coverage for that Solus. Still playing around this shield. I believe the nade from Giddy going out, dealing a lot of damage to Hot and Cold, forcing the Solus to fall back quite a bit, and Mr. B sneaks into the hallway looking for a second, but Yeti catches him, and we're back to 3v3.
So still keeping things consistent here for SSG, and wow, the one tap by Fultz across the map. Rice is sleeping with the fishes. Giddy now desperately low on HP. I think he's still trying to help assist Tristan, who only now enters in a break room. And just look at the lack of map control that RTV has. They still have to fight for office. They're still fighting for break room right now, despite it being given up by SSG. They're not fully aware of that.
Tristan, though, is just going to hit a crouch walk. And I mean, in a situation like this, maybe that's the play. I think that's Bosco the Smoke who's still tucked inside of office, but Tristan may be more preoccupied with picking up the case now. Giddy very low HP, so Tristan's likely going to have to be the spearhead that takes this control and takes these initial gunfights. But do they even have info on Bosco? It seems like they might have an idea. He's in the corner, but Tristan loses the fight. Close range with the SMG-11. Bosco definitely in the advantage, and now 1 HP on Giddy. The shotgun comes out, and boom. SSG, great round number 1.
And that's always the convenient thing about having operators that can all create angles of their own. You've got an Oryx, you have a Rooney, multiple shotguns on the board. There were just so many long positions that SSG can hold, so they really never give up a position, pardon for the flub there. They're just falling away to take longer angles. RTV are just forced into a false sense of security because they're not directly confronting someone. And we saw how effective SSG still were because of those longer angles. They can still play for trades, yet be chillaxing inside of the bomb site. They can still be sitting in tight-knit corners, and when RTV not having a lot of active info because they're just face-checking everything, they're going to be put in a very weak spot against that close-quarter engagement. So SSG, that entire round, they just had the best of both worlds.
Now they go to Bathroom and Tellers. Rocking a very different operator lineup, dropping the Solus in favor of a Mute, but with some more traps on the board in Frost and Capcan. Still not leaning into the Jaeger or Wamai. Happy to sit on a Rooney. RTV in the meantime, picking up Buck, making sure that they're going to have adequate soft destruction above and horizontally. Border another map where a lot of these walls are soft. You can get some good cutoffs using that skeleton key. And Rice, who I guess will assist mainly, and I imagine, like opening these castle barricades.
I would suppose so. At least you're still going to be able to do that, having plenty of utility at your disposal, unless there's some mute jammers nearby. But needless to say, RTV already looking to slowly wither away at that utility, and there it is. Rice, a well-placed Terror Drone, now opens up this castle double barricade, so it's going to be a little bit easier to execute in the late round if they want to go from the eastern side of the map. But, you know, obviously the Rome is not really threatened by that. As of right now, a couple drones will go past them. Hat may be looking to enter into the building, but he's such a valuable operator, and no, he just gets wide swung by Rampy, as no one expects someone to push out from offices like that. And SSG already starting out with another entry.
The Hat just sat there fully exposed. Out to lunch, I guess. Mr. B at least gets the refrag on Yeti, lands a nice shot all the way from out the break room door. So Reality TV now have control of CCTV. That's only step 1. They still have to take into armory lockers and office where plenty of SSG members are waiting, rotating the shield as well to better suit the defense now that they know where the attack is coming from. And a perfect C4 from Bosco gives his team the man advantage once again.
RTV still just looking for an opportunity to get into the building and maybe work another gunfight to get that trade. Rice eventually does so. He's got the opening for the Help Visitor Terror Drone. So now the player east stairs is gone. They could maybe coordinate on the player who's close by towards offices. But Rampy, if he feels like there's too much pressure, he's got the fall-off point of these hatches. So it's not a big issue so far.
And now Bosco gets that man advantage back. Kills Tristan on the Iana, leaving Giddy and Rice in the 2v3. The Roamers have now all fallen back now that they've got that man advantage. The castle, ooh, I don't know if Giddy could have seen the fight. I think the castle might be in Sandwich, and he walks into a cross map. And it was the one top east, and he didn't even jump. I don't even think he jumped through the window, but Rice is, wow, okay, Rice is just downstairs taking the gunfights. Does he know about Rampy? Who's poised to get his 3rd kill. Bosco, the finisher. Onto Giddy. I guess they knew he walked into the frostbite. I mean, it's a pretty loud sound cue. And 40 seconds left for Rice to try and put something together.
He's expecting someone to be over towards Customs, and there it is, but the drone not spotting him almost costed Rice his life, but thankfully he can pick up that diffuser, but he's still so low in HP, and there's plenty of utility that could flat out kill him. Those Capcan traps could have just ended the round.
He drops into sight. They should have heard that. Bosco's just around the corner. The flashbangs go out, but Rice has no info. Trying to stick the plant. Bosco's 3 armor, so Rice might hear him when he starts to come through. He switches to the shotgun. Rice gets off the plant, but the shotgun's there to meet him, and SSG take 2 in a row.
And once again, just the early round information and just communication to find these essentially free-flowing entry kills. That is now the 2nd time in a row where Hat has been the opening death. I'm getting eerie memories of the beginning of Bank against TSM, where Hat was such an important player on that Dokkaebi, and then he just gets smoked in a 1v1. For Reality TV there, not having a hard breacher, it might not sound like a big issue for a site like Tellers and Archives, but it really does limit where you can enter, not only from the top floor to push back the roamers in a meaningful way, which didn't really happen. SSG just kind of left the top floor when they got their advantage and were kind of satisfied with how their roam went. Not only does the ace help push back those roamers at an earlier time frame, but it also helps when you're executing, because if you're going to go in from the ventilation side of the map, you can open up a lot of those walls, make bathroom pretty open to allow a straightforward post-plant position, and make it very difficult for SSG to retake, especially when you have top floor vertical control. So with RTV just already not having that, it again just limits them, and you never want to be limited against a Pro League team.
John, are you zeroing up soon?
I think so, but I'd like to hear your verbal explanation about this, because I'm really intrigued as to what caught your eye.
The fact that we're on customs?
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be the obvious answer, but it was.
It is. Yeah.
This is customs.
Customs. People hate this site.
Yeah, it's really rough.
It's not great, especially with the Bathroom Tellers rework. I mean, really the only reason why people played Custom Tellers before is out of necessity, because Bathroom Tellers wasn't great. But now it's good, so you don't need to play Customs anymore. But, I mean, hey, SSG, they've always been innovators. They're going to try and go for it. First Thermite goes out from Hat, I believe, and it was immediately impact tricked by Bosco. So there's a hard breach charge now in response, and the second impact goes out. Cade Claw missing, though. Finally, it comes through. Mr. B still has EMPs, so they could go for it. I mean, they're out of impacts, but I guess RTV are going to give up on it. But they get the first kill.
At least that's something going the way of RTV. And yeah, although Houghton has no more Electroclaws he could use to trick with, since that other one was on the wall, they could have gotten it opened up, but they'll think better of it. Just focus on the top floor, which is pretty good option for this bomb site, as if you get CCTV control, you have a pretty clear view of the bomb site. And they still have people pushing in horizontally. Rice with their terror drone is going to open up that main double wall. So there are plenty of options here for RTV. They are definitely the opposite of limited like they were last round.
Especially with only like one member of SSG still upstairs and now currently coming under fire. Reality TV should be able to work their way into the building relatively soon-ish. Now with the drone watching hot and cold, he has to fall back. Actually, I lied. Fultz is still up there, and now Rampy rejoins his team upstairs. I love that run out. The Oryx dash into the corner to break the barricade. The follow-up with the run out. Rampy catches Mr. B. Tristan's down. Hot and cold is traded out, but Rampy is still upstairs looking for picks. Just catches the glimpse of Hat, but he's forced to fall back now as Tristan gets rezzed.
And Giddy has been able to do 0 vertical. He is just now getting his skeleton key out to maybe get some site control, and SSG are just still playing into this token of going for a retake, which honestly might work out. I don't know how solid RTV's info is right now, and they're still trying to get this wall opened up because they went away from it in the early round. Thankfully, again, no one's there to trick it, but it's still just costing even more time and resources from RTV.
At the very least, no one from SSG is really in that bomb site. They're kind of extended in the horizontal. Like you said, Fultz is still upstairs, daring Giddy to expose himself. Might be coming down now, catches Rice, trying to rotate in. Giddy's the next to die upstairs thanks to Rampy. Hat's got to trade, but that bomb has got to get down. And is no one carrying it? They don't have it? Where the heck is the case? Bosco almost gets caught with the Soulless Scanner out, and he loses the fight. Tristan's getting the plant down, but Rampy's in range to deny it. Who had case? And why plant there?
With red timer ticking, I don't think RTV had many options. They just dropped down the hatch the second they picked up that diffuser and was just hoping that the lack of coverage would I don't know, be enough. That seems so counterintuitive, but really the Thermite was across the map in no man's land. He could not protect Tristan trying to get his keys typed down on the keyboard. I mean, just going back to the beginning of that round, the call to go for a retake on that top floor, it really seemed to be the only way for SSG, because again, once RTV gets CCTV control, again, the site is completely free because of that. You have nowhere to hide. So for SSG to realize that and figure, okay, let's all push back up above as a team and just catch RTV off guard and hopefully, kill someone as they're pushing into the building, that's our best option. It's exactly what happened. They end up eliminating, I think it was Mr. B, who was probably the case player, so that would make perfect sense. It's outside right next to break room, and only then Tristan realizes it. I think that's what ended up happening. So they eliminate a pretty important player to the round, and they're just slowly chipping away at RTV's HP as well, so they're just significantly weaker when they try to go down and execute in the first floor. I mean, again, we talked about how big of a gamble it is to go into customs. SSG perfectly understood that and just played into the strengths that they had for that round, which is RTV probably over-evaluating that and just trying to fully commit to one location and one location only. And okay, Lachlan, go off, I guess.
What a shot.
Yeah.
Their Terror to follow up to take out the top east shield. Reality TV starting with the opening pick on a really important player too, because this weakens the position of Hot and Cold. Now he's a bit exposed since he doesn't have the crossfire. Oh.
Just a game of cat and mouse right now. Yeah.
Ah, Fultz falls off. Okay.
Just have to let the round speak for itself there. We've seen Fultz find a one-tap like that before, I think, earlier in the game.
Yeah, it was
on this site too, so... Yeah, that was...
Rice who was playing, I think it was what? Fultz was like
triple wall.
Archives?
Yeah, and Rice was triple wall of Office, like...
Oh, wait, no, Fultz was by metal. That's how far he was. That was it. It was a crazy shot. Oh my god, this impact. Dude, if Hat stayed put, that impact might have killed him. But Hot and Cold will just come away with some damage on that ace. Still holding on top on the catwalk. Gascaz is just coming out to delay the attack even further. And, I mean, Hat is just continuously swinging the window. Hot and Cold picks up the trade.
Yeah, no one going top east, no one throwing utility at Hotton. He can just sit here uncontested. Now there's someone pushing him from break room, but... Again, I feel like the Alibi's already done their job. Finally, they're shut down, but there's still another defender over by security room. Giddy eventually trades, but now he's stuck in a 1v2. With SSG once again having all of these horizontal angles, they can just hold against Giddy as he has to go across the map and recover that diffuser, just giving more time for SSG to set up.
At least he's got a minute to play with, but still, I mean, SSG are a team that will just sit there and hold crossfires. I mean, we were discussing it last time. I have a screenshot of SSG at a major holding a 5-man crossfire on Coastline in a 5v1. Those brothers were not swinging, and I don't think they're going to be swinging here. Bosco tucked in the corner, Fultz holding the long angle with the DMR, not even exposed here to Giddy in office. 30 seconds now left. The time slowly dwindling down for Giddy to make his move. Bosco's not going to be able to deny the plant from there. But Fultz might have the long angle to play with, and that's actually going to prompt Bosco to move. Giddy still got some utility. He'll stun Bosco, so now he knows the smoke is there, but as he jumps through, he exposes himself. He takes a bullet. Call out would be made by Fultz. Bosco is still waiting just around the corner, playing off his teammates' contact, and there's the swing. SSG with the tandem play, 4 defenses in a row.
And Reality TV, I mean, they had no genuine response for the initial roam of SSG. They did not have any stuns. The Roteros were only used to break castle barricades and shield, which, fair enough, but they didn't have anything else to push back Hot and Cold. He took full advantage of that. And I guess with the one Oryx who's in CCTV, he can negate someone pushing in from that back doorway over by Armory, probably because someone's on the half wall, so that's fair enough, but someone by the window that's not looking near that half wall position, and also the doorway that's right in the middle of break room, no one there was getting aggressive. They all felt so vulnerable that no one made a move. And finally, when RTV is getting ready to start beginning that attacking prowess, Hot and Cold just wide swing Hat, and he's dead again. Now there is no one going top E, so Hot and Cold can get even more aggressive and help assist the rest of his players who are now dealing with that break room attack. I mean, the coordination, it really does not feel there for RTV. And once again, SSG, it seems like their comms, it seems like they're on fire.
Yeah, right? Like, the coordination maybe not there for RTV, but it's definitely there for SSG. Space Station are handling RTV. And what happened last time in this map, right? Reality TV took a 4-2 defensive half, and they won 3 of their attacks. They no longer have the opportunity to do so. The best they can get is a 2-4 split. SSG are just on fire. Rampy with 7. And it's not like the whole team is doing incredibly in the frag department. It's mainly the Rampy and Bosco show right now. I mean, obviously everyone's contributing in terms of utility and comms and stuff. You know, SSG is a very 5-man team-centric team, which you can say that about any CG, but especially SSG. Bosco is 8-0, bro. Like, dude, in the elimination game, or faced with elimination, Bosco is not losing. This is qualifier Bosco. And Rampy just pushes out and gets 2 for free. For free!
I mean, did they even know there was a guy there? I mean, SSG did not change how they defended this top floor when extending for Teller's defense, yet no one felt inclined to be concerned about triple wall. And okay, Boltz just hops out the building, but he gets Rice to 10 HP. So still, I'd say this is worth it. SSG, who have been very consistent at finding trades, still with the man advantage, need 1 bullet to kill Rice, or anything. You might throw like a C4 at him and it doesn't blow up. It might just down him. He is incredibly low.
We actually saw the off-stream game. Hot and
oh my
Cold,
god, the flashbang.
Hot and Cold whipped Benji with a flashbang. Benji was 1 HP, and last alive, the impact of the flashbang killed him. It was really funny. Oh, I wish you guys could have seen that off-stream game. It was so close, but SSG are looking to end this one quickly. Tristan gets the equalizer. We're back to a 3v3. He gets Hot and Cold flanking, but that prompts Yeti to pinch. Back to even. Again, the trade game from SSG shines. And with Rice on 1 HP, they've got the HP advantage too. But RTV are just above the hatch, lording over this opening. Bosco watching the drop down like a hawk, daring these members to try and make it through. But the vertical play is being established thanks to breaching charges from Giddy. A couple positions now exposed. Bosco forced to back off. Yeti forced to retake a position in sight. Even more angles now being opened up, but there's 35 seconds left. Reality TV have got to get a move on.
Drone finally locates Yeti. They know 1 person's on site, but Bosco still not contested. He might have a long enough angle to still connect onto someone against RTV.
Rice drops in. 1 HP, carrying the case. He's going to herald this attack. Flashbangs in, caught by the Womai disc, but still kind of does the job. Plant going down, but there's an impact from Yeti, and he's so low that it just outright kills him, leaving Giddy in the 1v2, loses the first fight, and Yeti, what a 3K to finish the round, denying the plant and any hope that RTV had of taking it back.
And although it made it more comical, whether Rice was low HP or not, he still would have died. Giddy just cannot cover that in time to stop Yeti from shooting him. It made it
Yeti. It was opened by Yeti on like the doorway for Bosco, who was coming in by the windows.
Ah, I see. But even then, SMG, pretty quick shooting weapon. Yeah, the point still stands, but making it more technically correct, I appreciate you looking out for me. SSG. Exactly. SSG really looking out for one another. Again, the trade game, something that really wasn't there last time Border was in play for SSG. RTV being a very trade-centric team as they tend to fall heavy on their entry department. Something that could have saved them the round, having that man advantage on the back of Tristan, is now halted by Yeti, just still hiding by triple wall and shooting Tristan in the back. Now things are on a 2-on-2, and with RTV only having about 30-40 seconds to get vertical down and force back those roamers, I mean, they really don't have enough options to like get in the bomb site and also safely cover the plant from a technically speaking 2v1 retake, because someone is currently face down looking at the ground trying to get the diffuser there.
RTV don't look good.
It'd be safe to say that.
Not looking good, John. Especially with how dominant Reality TV were on the map yesterday. I mean, the desk was talking about it, sure.
This was their Hail Mary.
Yeah, Reality TV are a great border team. They're fantastic, but running it back against a team like SSG, who are going to learn from their mistakes, I don't know if that was wise. And, I think, who was it? Hacker, who was an ex-RTV member, now picked up to Parabellum, said, reminded us that Reality TV have never lost this map since their inception as a team. I think all the way back to Took the Kids, which was a funny name, TTK. They have not lost border, and it looks like they're about to.
You know, the saying was, not only for TTK, but ATK, it was TTK till my bones decay. Well, I think we've found the old remnant, the skeleton of RTV. Here comes the run out by Yeti, and he still gets one on the hat. There is just no way. Hat now for a third time is the opening death in the first half, and your breach player is now gone. Unbelievable by Yeti. Just the courage by this man is unprecedented.
I can't believe, like, expecting there to probably be a crossfire, just going for the 1-for-1. I commend him.
And he gets it.
But Mr. B has a response. Hot and cold now dead. The Soulless, who tends to be so important, whose position on Catwalk has really thwarted Reality TV so far, is killed by Mr. B. The Oryx coming through. Unfortunately, yeah, the dash doesn't reach quite that far. In fact, it's like perfectly just far enough to avoid it. And Tristan, oh, nice spot on Tarampy. Reality TV have the best chance of winning a round as we've seen all that.
Say it's only Fultz and Bosco left alive. Oh, and Fultz almost gets caught on a rotate. So far, TV have been pretty good at spotting that so far in round number 6. But if there were any two people to do it, Bosco definitely one of them. There he is with the swing down below in the courtyard, but Mr. B is there instantly. Fultz down to 1v2.
The nade comes in, but it misses, and Tristan's so low, but it doesn't matter. He swings at the perfect time as his teammate pinches in from the blue doorway. And Reality TV finally have killed Bosco, and they're on the board.
Only took them 6 whole rounds, but like you mentioned, they will not go down without a complete loss in life. Still kicking and screaming along the way. Now getting to go on their defensive half of Armory and Lockers. This lineup is oddly familiar to the composition they ran against SSG just yesterday when they went for their Montaigne plant, where there wasn't really a lot of proper denial of that Montaigne. That's probably why they're bringing several impact grenades in case SSG want to run that back. But I think the more overlying issue was the fact they just didn't have them playing underneath to stop the Montaigne. Luckily for them, as a whole, SSG has not decided to repick and go Montaigne. But besides running this comp to stop the Montaigne, I mean, really, what else does it accomplish besides maybe crippling the drone economy? I'm not quite sure.
I mean, maybe they just don't care about the Monty. Maybe they're just expecting it to not come out.
Yeah,
I could be it too. I mean, Mr. B also maybe just playing below as Solace.
That's true. Yeah, that might be the idea, I guess.
Tristan can hold the long angles and maybe fight that balcony. But he's playing by the main wall right now. Giddy on a CCTV duty. We'll see how it shapes up. SSG, though, despite not having the Monty, still have Capitao, an operator that they leaned into on border last time we saw them, and who, in a few of those rounds, did do work. His utility can be very useful. Border attacks, you can smoke plant. Smokes can be really good. The problem is, you know, Reality TV have bulletproofs and they have a Solus. So you're probably gonna have to deal with that before you have any hope of getting that smoke down.
Yeah, Solus being able to spot the diffuser once it's being planted, kind of like a pseudo warden almost, except you just can't see the player, only the case that is being held by said planter. But that can be plentiful if you are in the correct spot to actually stop the diffuser from going down on the ground. Yeti looking to maybe go for a bit of a lurk, wrap around closer towards the archive side of the map, and setting up a really nasty drone, probably to help check see if anyone's over by Fountain or who's rotating off of offices. So yeah, that's going to just allow Yeti to just kind of do his own thing by himself, and now he's got this potentially nasty cutoff angle, but no, he'll just wait, expect someone to get aggressive. The patience here by Yeti, it's simply uncanny.
And it looks like that Solus is going to expose herself. Yeti, his patience, like you said, pays off. A second onto Hat, watching that long line of sight. I thought he was stopping to type. I was expecting the
Me too.
I was expecting the chat to pop up for a second. I thought there was going to be a good night there. But it's 2 early kills for SSG with still over a minute to play with. And we were just focusing on Yeti by Archives. We haven't even talked about the CC take that SSG have completely cleared out. Almost no contention from Reality TV, as well as Rampy down below. It seems like just every avenue is being covered.
Bolt's going with the nade. No one close enough to the explosive blast, but Tristan is still hugging the wall like his life depends on it. It kind of does. And now Rice being forced back as well by, I believe, Yeti. SSG, they are just putting RTV in a chokehold, and they already have a 2-man advantage. I mean, there really is not much to stop them from just hitting the go button, and wow, Fultz, beautiful spray. Tristan gone.
Giddy gets a refrag, make it 2, but there's Yeti still watching the long angle. Now Rice is left in the 1v3 as Bosco has since been rezzed. Armed with an SMG-11 and a shotgun, but these long lines of sight do not play into him at all. Smoke goes out onto small office to cover Bosco as he goes for this plant, but the first one is going to have to be one against Rampy, and it won't. Rice falls, and it's 6-1 SSG.
And for Yeti more specifically, I mean, he really did read into RTV like a book. That was perfectly done. He's expecting people to start getting a bit anxious. Like we said earlier, the SSG anxiousness over on the desk. Or RTV, they see the play it's beginning to happen for SSG. Okay, they're going in. They're trying to get the plant down over by Armory. Maybe we get someone to flank last second over to Break Room. That could get us a very important 1-for-1 gunfight. And now SSG are forced to focus on both the site pressure that Tristan could provide and Mr. B, who's now recaptured Break Room. It's not a bad idea. Only problem is Yeti realizes that's a weakness, and he's actively guarding for that. Once he kills Mr. B, he reaverts his focus back to the main point at hand, which is the bomb site, and he kills a guy rotating to help Tristan with the same plan that everyone on RTV was going for. Again, it was not a bad idea by RTV, but it was just predictable. SSG realized that was their biggest weakness, and they just kind of played into it, kind of like a gambit almost.
Have RTV used their timeout?
No, I think I hate to say it, they might have just given up.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
This seems like a
especially down 6-1 and you still have your timeout in pocket. Like, is it chalked?
I think they know it's over for them. This is just sad. This is not the RTV we've grown to know and love, Harrison.
No,
it really isn't.
It's rough. SSG might be the David to RTV's Goliath. Do you think that's apt?
It's really funny to call SSG the Dave in that situation.
Yeah. Or maybe this is the timeline where Goliath wins.
That's what I was getting closer towards, yeah. Because SSG, I mean, they are just...
It's funnier the other way, though.
Yeah, I would agree. They're a veteran team, multiple world champions.
Holy crap,
this
you
roster.
can shoot the jammer from there? I didn't even know that!
I think it was just the way it was placed, honestly.
Well, I mean, if it's in the middle of the wall.
I learn something new every day.
Like, gonna be placed. I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
And now you do.
That's the SSG difference, I guess.
Yep. Not anything else. It's the fact they know you can shoot the mute jammer there. That's the real game changer between these two teams.
And nobody else knew that. Bosco just invented that right now. Actually. Call him an innovator. There's also no one playing in CC. So Reality TV, they've got 2 players upstairs supported by a pulse below. That's Giddy, who's going to be calling. Mr. B rotating up to join both Hat and Tristan. The SSG are starting to bear down upon them. They've got CC control. They're working their way towards office as well, and they are looking to constrict the roamers.
Kairos charge going off, now making it a little bit easier to trap the Oryx. Now Tristan has a very long angle going against him. He might just need a play here and hope he wins the 1-for-1 against Bosco, which, with him being 9-1, doesn't seem likely.
Giddy, though, gets the lead off, and Rampy might be the next to die. Reality TV get the finisher. Pat almost traded back as he's trying to keep the ball rolling and just swinging on in. And speaking of swinging on in, Fultz is searching for the kill, and he doesn't have the cap cans there. He almost wins the fight. Mr. B downs him, trying to find the finisher, but is so distracted that he forgets there's other players upstairs. Hot and cold finishes him, and it looks like Fultz is going to get picked up. So it's a 4v3. Still in favor of Reality TV, however.
30 seconds to go as well. Not much time here for SSG, and looking like they're trying to just force someone out of vent so they can maybe get that diffuser down, but I don't think that's very likely. Giddy can just kind of just pivot around this vertical and just force SSG to drop, and finally they do. Fultz gets one kill. How with the response? RTV still up players.
Bosco's in the site, and he downs Hat sitting on the shelf, but there's someone still upstairs. Tristan gets the kill, opening even more holes. Bosco's got to search for Rice, but the mute wins it. Reality TV, man, they're making us sweat. They'll get their first defensive success.
Still able to hold on here on border, but the bell, it still tolls. Going the way of SSG, one more round is all they need. Armory lockers in selection now for RTV. And honestly, I think it was just the fact that SSG took a very long time to set up those entries. It gave RTV the idea ring in their head. Okay, SSG, they're not missing their shots. We might want to like disengage these guys and go somewhere else before we take a gunfight. Tristan got caught on pretty quickly to that, so he dashed away before someone could react. He gets out of archives, and Giddy across the map also wins his 1-for-1. So RTV having a pretty successful start on that round, and SSG just got desperate to work refrags. You could tell they didn't want to waste any more time to let RTV fall off the roam completely. They were looking for refrags to make it maybe like a 3v3 position, and that costed them even more life. Eventually, RTV fall off the roam, but now they've got the man advantage, and SSG don't have a lot of time to gather more info and actually push back RTV off the site. Not only that, but Tristan reworking the top floor, it guarantees that SSG cannot get that diffuser down safely.
Don't call it a comeback. I'm just kidding.
All right, I won't. I'll call it a 7-2 SSG win. How about that? Is that what you wanted?
Yes.
All right.
Listen, Reality TV, I mean, they got one. Now one on their defense. They need 4 more to go. Can they do it? They've already got Workshop. They'll go back to lockers where they got smoked by Yeti holding a long angle as Zoe. Yeti, however, is not Zoe this time. He's on Twitch. So how do SSG switch this up? They've got the Capital once again. Still looking to use his utility for execute, but in the meantime, the CC clear has begun, and Rampy's working his way down below to assist.
Say, Mr. B as well, probably assuming there's going to be a roam clear underneath. He's now just being a more direct threat as the Warden. He can really hard counter that smoke plant attempt, and having a C4 as well can be kind of the jack of all trades of this round. So I like the small change up there for RTV, but besides that, it does seem like they are still lacking at initially stopping SSG's plan of just forcing people back out of break room. And if we do see someone holding a similar cutoff angle, no one can then retake break room, which is a bit of an issue.
Giddy's dancing with death right now, peeking hot. But the nade comes up.
No.
Giddy, how is he not dead?
2 nades, he dodged them.
Wow.
Underneath 2.
So Giddy just got away from that somehow. He's going to try and rotate away. Rampy's still hunting for him with these nades. This one can find the kill, but instead it's Fultz. Just jump. Did he just jump in? I think he jumped in.
Just hop right back out too. I could imagine not, but I mean, yeah, maybe he did, because why would you want to swing the other way? There's someone half wall potentially.
Because he can't kill him from the window. Like, he had to have jumped in. So Fultz just growing some hair on his chest and taking the fight. Probably also knowing that there was no one there with Giddy. That was probably instrumental to that. Again, the SSG drone game, not roam game, they're clearing out the roam. But they've got CC control now. They can start working for sight.
50 seconds to do so as well. Not a lot of info at their disposal, but definitely enough to get the ball rolling in the right direction. And you still have someone underneath. Is Rampy going to rotate and play over by Sandwich? Or is he going to just go AC to help the guy archives? It might actually be to help Yeti instead, but either way, Rampy going to be holding some key angles in this round to help assist the execute on the main side of Armory.
Oh, he started climbing
sandwich.
the ladder, but yeah, he's gonna go sandwich, sledging open the barricade, putting a lot of pressure on these anchors, pretty much removing their ability to rotate, but Rice gets the equalizer that RTV have been looking for. That could be oh so important now with such little time remaining, but they don't know about Rampy. Hat's at least got a response, Yeti's now dead, and Rampy swinging in his alone with 7 seconds left. He's got Hat, hunting down Rice, gets the kill, but there's no time. Mr. B has backed way off. And by the skin of their teeth, Reality TV stay alive.
Thankfully, with those lockers still intact, that sandwich cutoff is nowhere near as strong as it used to be. Back in the old day of Border, you really can cut the site literally in half with the old sandwich angle that used to be there. Still having a lot of impact, though. Rampy did his job perfectly. And then when hopping in, he almost made the round winnable. If he had maybe, 5 to 10 more seconds, we have to see a gunfight there between Mr. B and also Rampy, unless Mr. B really commits to booking it, letting the case be recovered, and now forcing himself to retake in a 1v1, which might have still been winnable despite being a 3-armor operator there. But needless to say, with RTV having plenty of natural cover still in that round, they can barge in. They've got Mr. B on the warden, so again, the smoke plant gets hard countered, and no one else can get back into the bomb site quickly enough to then trade on people like Hat and Mr. B, who were make or break players towards the last 10 seconds of that round. But SSG, again, they've got rounds to bleed, so RTV, they've got to keep this momentum up. And maybe still having their timeout might be a saving grace, but I really don't think so. SSG just need 1 round win, so when would they go for a timeout?
Yeah. Don't worry, guys, we're saving it. We're saving it. Just in case we lose, we'll take the timeout. I mean, maybe if they get it back, maybe they're like, you know what, we'll just keep playing our game. If it gets to like 6-6, we'll use it in OT.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, I mean, I know they are confident in their defenses. Again, any clutch attempt is going to be difficult, but I do think it's within the realm of possibility if they're going to keep getting starts like that. Giddy, the leadoff kill onto Rampy, the kill leader in the lobby. He goes down without a second thought. I don't even know where that was. Oh, dude. Not the bottom barricade spawn peak. That's just mean.
Giddy is playing with his life on the line. I cannot blame him. Rampy gone, like you mentioned, the top fragger for SSG and their only vertical player. Sure, you could utilize like Selma charges, but Hotten's already got just 1 left. And it's just nowhere near the same as Skeleton Key. You really cannot put the 2 and 2 even close to one another. But SSG don't seem too stressed about it. Volt is now getting in the building. That health scanner, he can avoid a lot of calls, but that metal detector, it still goes off. So if RTV hear that, they can figure out someone's customs.
Not only that, but he can't hide from Pulse. Giddy will still be able to spot him if Volt gets close enough. But for now, SSG, they'll keep that Nook downstairs and still work on the top floor. With those shots, he reveals his location, and Mr. B slaps him down. The castle holding a long angle, softens Hot and Cold up just a little bit. A C4 goes up and misses. Hot and Cold eats even more damage, but he's working to clear Fountain, opening up the wall. Tristan looking to peek right off of it, but evades the shots and can get back to site safely. Everyone from Reality TV still has this hatch open, and with only a minute left, Hat's looking to reaggress, catches Bosco with the axe, but Yeti's going huge, and Hot and Cold equalizes! Yeti with the pistol, finds 3! This cannot be how it ends! A throw like that would be devastating for Reality TV, and the plant is going down! Mr. B has to win this fight, and Yeti! 4 kills! Walking in a site like he owns the place, eliminates Reality TV, and they'll play TSM for a spot at Infight.
What a comeback at such a massive deficit, and the desk talked about this. They feared this option for RTV, over-aggressing when they already had the major advantage of 2 and 3 players at one point as well. Reality TV, they can